Okay, so in preparation for painting this interior white, I'm going to prime it first and just want to tape off this bright work here on the inwales so that it doesn't get white primer or paint on it. So we'll go through this process and then it's a matter of getting that rust-oleum primer and getting it on the boat. The one thing about rust-oleum primer is it's really thick. This marine primer, and it's almost like a sludge. And I put a little bit of brushing liquid in it to thin it out, but it wasn't all that great. Anyway, we'll see how it goes on. Sometimes I think it's a shame to cover up all this wood grain because it's really nice marine plywood with a nice grain, but the reality is maintaining a varnish surface is a lot more difficult than maintaining a painted surface. So it's just much easier to paint this interior that's going to get foot traffic, and a lot of sunlight to have it painted to maintain it. Here I am along the side of the boat. I had just used the last bit of some old primer that I had, and now I've got a new can of the primer. We're just going to get it all over the boat here. And this whole priming job took about 45 minutes to do. I'm going to speed it up here just a little bit more. At this speed, which is about 32 times normal speed, this is an easy job, but it wasn't really easy to do. Okay, I didn't get the whole thing painted as I wanted, but I need to go inside because there's just too much fumes, and open up the garage door just a little bit. All right, Sunday morning. Let's finish priming this boat, and maybe later today we can put the regular paint on. Okay, the priming is done. I think 4 hours, and we can top coat. I'll have to read the can. Okay, I just mixed up some paint with a brushing liquid, and the paint is rust-oleum marine 1-part paint for the inside, which is going to be sufficient for this skiff. I'm planning on putting 2 coats on, one today and one tomorrow. The humidity is right around 80%, and I think it's going to stay that way for the next few hours, even though there's been some rain earlier today and there's chance of rain. I think it's still going to stay low enough for me to put a coat of paint on the boat. So right now we got the rust-oleum primer on here, and off camera I tried to just go with the rust-oleum paint, but there were too many blemishes, so I ended up putting on a coat of filler here and there on the boat, like on these puzzle joints kind of right down here. And let me take you out of stand here. On these puzzle joints right here, put some of the filler on, and then on the seat a little bit there, and then over on the other side, the puzzle joint there, and some more filler. And then I pretty much sanded the whole interior of the boat. There were a couple of epoxy drips and some paint drips, and I couldn't, you put so much work into it, I thought I might as well just take another moment here and sand this again. Anyway, I think it's ready for the first coat of top coat, and my plan right now is just 2, and so it looks nice bright white, so I'm looking forward to seeing the change. It looks pretty white on camera. Looks a little yellow when I look at it from my eye, but we'll see how much whiter it gets. And I'm going to put you in a time lapse and get this section, and so you don't have to wait around too long. So this is 8 times speed, and I'm just a couple more seconds. I'm going to put it up to 32 times speed. Again, it took about 45 minutes to do the whole thing. Okay, that's the first coat. I kind of painted myself into a corner back right there. I was sitting there and I couldn't get that last little bit. Anyway, took off my gloves for a second and did some touch up. So now I gotta wash my hands, and I need to go buy more paint because I think it's gonna need a second coat. So it takes 2 quarts to do the 2 coats. So 1 quart per coat, whatever. Yeah, that's it for the first coat. Let's clean some hands.